Dan Morgan lives what looks like a perfectly normal suburban life in Buffalo. He works as a car salesman, lives in a quiet neighborhood, and spends his time with his wife and children. To anyone looking from the outside, he is an ordinary family man who avoids trouble, dislikes technology, and prefers peace over conflict. Dan lives with his wife, Jessica, and their 3 children. Nina is their teenage daughter, smart and driven, while Kyle is their teenage son, obsessed with video games and secretly popular as an online streamer. The youngest is Max, still an infant. Dan is deeply content with this simple life. He avoids social media, dislikes modern technology, and has no interest in excitement or danger. Jessica, on the other hand, feels differently. While she loves her family, she misses spontaneity and excitement. She feels their life has become too predictable, too routine, and she wants something more adventurous. To celebrate their anniversary, Dan and Jessica go to an amusement park. It's meant to be a fun, romantic break from daily life. While they share a kiss, a stranger deliberately takes a selfie with them in the background as a joke and later posts it online. Dan notices and becomes uncomfortable, but instead of confronting the man or starting a fight, he walks away. He refuses to engage in violence, even when provoked. Not long after, Dan's quiet life takes a sudden and violent turn. While shopping in a supermarket with his infant son Max, Dan is unexpectedly attacked by a highly trained man. The attacker moves like a professional, clearly not an ordinary criminal. Despite this, Dan reacts instantly and with incredible skill. He effortlessly defeats the attacker, disabling him in seconds, all while protecting his child. This moment reveals that Dan is not who he appears to be. After the incident, Dan contacts Orgy, a former associate from his past life. Orgy immediately understands the seriousness of the situation. He tells Dan that the attack likely came from McCaffrey, Dan's former employer. According to Orgy, if McCaffrey is involved, then Dan is no longer safe. Orgy advises him to disappear immediately. Dan quickly realizes that the amusement park photo must have exposed him. Someone recognized him and used social media to track him down. Knowing how dangerous this situation is, Dan orders new fake passports for himself and his entire family from Orgy. Without revealing the truth, Dan begins gathering his family. He picks up Nina from school. He then retrieves Kyle from a secret gaming house, where Kyle is a popular streamer competing with other gamers. Finally, Dan picks up Jessica from work. He tells them that he's planned a spontaneous road trip to Las Vegas, presenting it as a surprise meant to bring excitement back into their lives. Jessica is pleased by the idea, believing this is exactly the kind of spontaneity she's been craving. The kids are excited too, completely unaware of the danger they're in. Their real destination, however, is Las Vegas, where Dan plans to meet Orgy and collect their new identities. As they leave town, Dan senses something is wrong. He realizes they're being followed. Drawing on his instincts, he concludes that their minivan must have a tracking device attached to it. At his workplace, Dan uses a service bay to lift the vehicle and carefully searches underneath it. He finds the tracker hidden on the undercarriage and removes it, temporarily throwing their pursuers off their trail. Meanwhile, McCaffrey and his team arrive at the Morgans' home. They search the house thoroughly, looking for clues to the family's destination. Dan has anticipated this and made sure to cover his tracks, leaving nothing behind. Dan drives through the night, pushing forward until they reach Iowa City. During the stop, Nina becomes excited about visiting Southern Iowa University. She hopes to attend the school because her boyfriend Trevor plans to go there. This conflicts with her earlier ambition of attending Stanford, but she believes following Trevor is worth it. While visiting the campus, Nina discovers that Trevor is cheating on her. She is devastated. Seeing his daughter heartbroken, Dan steps in to help in the only way he knows how. He teaches Nina basic martial arts moves, empowering her to stand up for herself and confront Trevor. During the campus visit, danger returns. Another assassin sent by McCaffrey tracks Dan down. Dan fights him inside a chemistry lab, using his surroundings to incapacitate the attacker efficiently and quietly. After neutralizing the threat, Dan calmly rejoins his family as if nothing happened. As the road trip continues, the family begins to grow closer. They bond over shared experiences, unaware of how much danger still lies ahead. When they finally arrive in Las Vegas, Dan prepares to tell Jessica the truth. He plans a romantic dinner, intending to come clean about his past and explain everything. Meanwhile, Nina and Kyle are supposed to babysit Max in their luxurious penthouse suite. Instead, the teenagers sneak out and head to the HyperX gaming arena inside the hotel, leaving Max behind. When Dan and Jessica return to the suite to check on the kids, they are ambushed by McCaffrey's men. This time, Dan has no choice. He moves with lethal efficiency, killing the attackers quickly and without hesitation. Jessica witnesses this and is completely shocked. She finally sees the truth. Realizing the kids are missing, Dan and Jessica rush to the HyperX arena. A violent shootout erupts as McCaffrey's men close in. The family watches in horror as Dan kills more assassins in front of them, exposing his true nature. With no way left to hide, Dan finally tells his family everything. He admits that his real name is Sean and that he was once a professional assassin. His family is furious. They feel betrayed by years of lies and deception. Despite their anger, Dan gives them the new fake identities and tells them their old lives in Buffalo are over. The next morning, Jessica makes a decision. Believing that leaving Dan will keep the kids safe, she takes Nina, Kyle, and Max and leaves without him. She contacts Gwen, a travel agent she recently befriended, who offers to arrange a flight home. On a private jet, Gwen reveals her true identity. She works for McCaffrey and is Dan's former girlfriend. Gwen is furious with Dan for abandoning her and hands Jessica and the children over to McCaffrey. They are taken hostage and held inside an abandoned hotel. McCaffrey finally reveals the ultimate truth. He is Dan's father. McCaffrey threatens to kill Jessica and the children unless Dan agrees to rejoin his organization and cut all contact with his family forever. Faced with no other option, Dan agrees. McCaffrey allows Jessica and the kids to return home, believing the deal is complete. But Jessica refuses to leave things that way. She kills their escort and escapes with the children. Determined to save Dan, they return to the abandoned hotel. McCaffrey, realizing the betrayal, sends his mercenary army to kill Dan. A massive fight breaks out. Dan battles wave after wave of attackers. Kyle assists by using a drone to gain a tactical advantage. Jessica confronts Gwen in a brutal fight. Drawing on her track and field background, Jessica impales Gwen with a broken piece of bamboo thrown like a javelin, killing her. The family reunites inside the hotel. Nina distracts McCaffrey at a crucial moment, giving Dan the opportunity to overpower him. Dan knocks McCaffrey out, and authorities take him into custody. With the danger finally over, Dan reconciles with his family. In the final moments, the Morgans load up a rented RV and set out on a cross-country road trip to take Nina to Stanford. The journey represents more than a college drop-off. It symbolizes freedom, trust, and a future built not on secrets, but on truth. The road stretches ahead, uncertain but open, and for the first time in a long while, the family moves forward together.